Hello students, this is auditing class and I am preparing this first video on auditing. So first unit I will send you all the notes. Let us start this video with the second unit, which is nothing but you will have it regarding complete details about the auditor, meaning of auditor, qualification and disqualification of the auditor, then qualities of an auditor. All this we study in the second unit. So let us start. So on the screen you can see here meaning and then qualification of auditor. So let us go with the meaning. So auditor, it is not a new to all, it is not new. We always, as a commerce student, we always come across this word auditing. So auditing means what? We prepare the account, finalize the account at the end of March, and by this account should be audited by a specified auditor who will check the accounts. He will see if any error is there, if any mistakes are there. All will be audited. If mistakes are there, we have to clarify that. If any error is there, that also has to be clarified. But as a auditor, what type of person he should be, what qualification auditor should have, what disqualification auditor should not have, then what type of person he should be, everything we should know first. Okay, so a person conducting audit is known as an auditor. In the other words, auditor is qualified and an independent person who is appointed by the shareholder to examine the books of account of business concern and to report whether the final account are reliable or not. Okay, so here with this we can understand that he should be a qualified person and an independent person without any contract with other organization, and he should examine what should be his work. His work should be to examine the books of account of a business concern, and after he is examining, after he is checking all the account, he should report this to the concerned person, and without cheating, without any misappropriation or malpractice, he should do the auditing. So this person is known as a auditor who checks our account. Then next comes qualification of an auditor. So qualification of an auditor, there are 3 to 4 points which we are going to know about the qualification of auditor. To become an auditor, what all you should have. Okay, the necessary qualification of an auditor who can audit the account of a limited company, under 1956 Act. Any company which is registered under the Act 1956, if a auditor has to be, what should be his qualification? He should be a chartered accountant. A person shall not be qualified for appointment as auditor of a company unless he is chartered accountant. Okay, so auditor always he should be a chartered accountant. He should have the degree of chartered accountant, that also under the Act 1949. If he is not a chartered accountant, he cannot be appointed as an auditor in the registered company under the Act 1956. Then second is a firm of chartered accountant, provided that a firm where all the partners participating in are qualified for appointment as aforesaid may be appointed by its firm name to be auditor of the company, in which case any partner so practicing may act in the name of the firm. A firm of chartered accountant. Okay, a individual person can become an auditor, or a organization, a firm of chartered accountant. Say for example, firm of chartered accountant means one group is there, one organization there, where all the persons are chartered accountant and they are having an association. So if you want chartered accountant, you should contact those persons, and in return they will send a group of chartered accountant. If you require one person will come. If you require three chartered accountant, they will send three chartered accountant. But they should be qualified, and as per the company's rules they can do the auditing of the accounts. This is the second. Not only a individual chartered accountant, but even a firm of chartered accountant can be a auditor. Okay, a firm or organization can be a chartered accountant of the company. Why? Because national companies which are registered under 1956, very big companies are there, and only one auditor cannot handle the account. So if the company is big, what happens? They hire 2 to 3 auditors by the company. So at that time we contact the firm. Then a certified auditor, he should be a certified auditor. A person who holds a certificate under the restricted auditor certificate part B states rules 1956 is also qualified to act as an auditor of the company. Such person are known as certified auditor and are always subject to rules made in the behalf of the central government. Okay, other than these two people, a chartered accountant, a firm of chartered accountant, a certified auditor can also be a chartered accountant. The certified auditor can also be a chartered accountant. Means what type of certificate? He should have a certificate under the rule 1956, which will be given by the central government. Certified auditor. Okay, so a person who is having the certificate of auditing is a certified auditor, and even this person is qualified to and act as an auditor in the nationalized and in the Company Act 1956. Okay, so these are the three qualification, or these are the three auditors who can audit the company's account. Okay, now comes disqualification. Okay, what are the disqualification of auditors? Section 226(3) lays down that the none of the following persons are qualified for appointment as auditor of the company. These all people are now one by one we will go on discussing, are not eligible to become a auditor. So which person are not eligible to become auditor? We'll see. A body corporate. Any of a corporate, a company, a corporate cannot become an auditor of a company. Okay, an officer or employee of the company. So already if you are an employee of that company, you cannot become the auditor of that company. A person who is a partner or who is in the employment of an officer or employee of the company. So in simple to tell you means the employee of the organization cannot become an auditor. The auditor should be always a person who is from outside the company. Then a person who is indebted to the company for an amount exceeding 1000 rupees, or who has given and guarantee or provided any security in connection with the indebted. Or say for example, a person has taken loan from your company, even that person cannot be called cannot be appointed as a auditor in your company. Then next is, if he is disqualified for appointment under any of the above four clause. So if on the any of the four clause the person is disqualified, or its holding company or its subsidiary could be so disqualified. Say for example, a person is there who is a body corporate, he's an employee, he's a person who is a partner in the firm, who is had taken loan. So all these four person cannot be appointed as an auditor. If a person is disqualified, if he is not qualifying all these four above, then what happens? Obviously he will be disqualified for the fifth point also. Okay, next, if an auditor becomes subject after his appointment to any of the disqualifications specified above, he shall be deemed to have vacated his office as such. Okay, in future, now he is not an employee, but when we are appointed as an auditor, at that time, if he is appointed as an employee in that organization, then he will be disqualified from auditor. Okay, so after joining as an auditor, if he becomes an employee also, that person cannot be an auditor. So this is disqualification. So this person cannot be called, we cannot become auditors of any of the company. Next comes quality of auditor. So quality of auditor is generally divided into two parts. One is professional qualities and one is general qualities. So professional qualities, we know in general, we know that professional qualities, he should be a knowledgeable person, he should be have a principle, he should have knowledge of business, he should have knowledge of legal, he should have knowledge of finance, he should have knowledge of accounts. So all these comes under the professional qualities. Okay, and in general qualities, just as a person, what all qualities you should have. General qualities means you should be honest, you should be fruitful, you should be vigilant, then you should be responsible person, you should have a good moral, you should be integrated, all you should be have a responsibility. All these comes under general qualities. So one by one we'll go. First one is professional qualities. So professional qualities, as on the screen you can see the first four: skill and competent, latest technique of accounting and auditing, knowledge of principles of accounting, knowledge of business. So skills and competent. So any person who is appointed as an auditor should have the skill and competence in the field. Competence means what? You should have the knowledge, you should have the skill of that particular area, of that particular field. So unskilled person cannot be called as an auditor. You should have the skill in your area, in your field. Say for example, in auditing, you should have the knowledge of accounts. So if you are not having the skill of accounting, you cannot be called as a auditor. Okay, so in that particular area or in the particular field, the auditor should have skills and competent. He should be a competent person. He should be aware of recent development in the field of auditing, and in the ICAI statement, if it is there, in that what all updates are there, he should always know. Then latest techniques of accounting and auditing. So as an auditor, he should have the knowledge of all the latest technology techniques of accounting. So accounting system always it goes on changing, because originally traditionally we used to have a T-shaped accounting system, but now it is vertical accounting system where we prepare statements. Okay, so in this way, new things of accounting are updated, so he should have the knowledge of that. And even auditing system is being changing from the traditional method, so even that should be updated by this person. The knowledge of principle of accounting. So accounting is having some principle. What is debit? What is credit? Rules are there. Techniques are there. Principles are there. So all these principles should be known by this person. Then knowledge of business. So if he is an auditor, he should all have a knowledge of all the business. It may be a partnership, it may be a company, it may be a sole trading concern. He should have the knowledge of all the business. Okay. Next comes fifth point. So fifth point is legal knowledge. So legal knowledge as an auditor must be well versed in general merchant law, income tax law, company act, sale of good, contract act, negotiable instrument. So you should have knowledge of all the legal aspects which are related to the business. Negotiable instruments are there, then contract act is there, company act are there, sale of good act are there. So he should have a knowledge of all these acts. Then sixth is knowledge of financial management. So as a auditor, you should have a knowledge of all the finance aspect. Say for example, financial plans, sources of finance, capital structure, cost of capital, what is fixed capital, what is working capital, all this person should know. Then maintaining secrecy. An auditor should keep the information obtaining during the course of audit. So maintaining secrecy means what? Whatever auditing is doing in the company, he should maintain the secret about that company. He should not disclose it to the other person. Then only he will be called as a moral person. Then only he will be called as a sincere auditor. So he should always maintain secrecy. Then act as watchdog but not bloodhound. Okay. So watchdog means what? He should always watch the accounts, and but not like a bloodhound means he should not suck the blood, he should not take the blood, he should only watch. He should be a person who is watching the account and not extracting it. Okay, so an auditor is not bound to be a detective or to approach his work with the suspicious or with the foregone conclusion that something. So that means auditor is not a detective, he is not finding anything, he is only checking our accounts if any mistakes are there, and he will clarify that. Okay, next is independence. An auditor must be independent, he should be impartial as well as fearless. Independent means what? He should not be influenced by any other person. Say for example, any one person from the manager may give him money, say take this much 10,000 rupees or 50,000 rupees, and just see that whatever I tell, do only prepare report in the same format. So anybody can bribe him. So bribing should not be done. He should not take money from anyone, and that should be, he should be independent person, and he should take his own decision. Next comes judgment. So the entire audit process itself involves judgment at the last stage. Then next is methodical. So what is methodical? An auditor must be systematic and methodical in his approach to work. He must plan the audit properly. Okay. So methodical means proper planning should be done by the auditor. Proper planning in what format, what account should be checked first, what should be checked next. Everything should be properly planned. Then knowledge of report writing. So auditing main part is report writing. So report writing last chapter you all are having complete this, so in detail I will not tell you all this. Knowledge of report writing. What is report writing? Whatever auditing he has done, that auditing process should be written in the form of report. He should write report. Say for example, in case of he's doing a auditing of ABC company. So ABC companies, everything whatever he has audited, that audit report should be written in the report. So that report should be very accurate, it should not be lengthy, it should be clear, it should be correct, it should not be difficult for the persons to read. It should be easy and it should be correctly written. Then comes general knowledge of management. So even management knowledge, not only financial accounting knowledge, not only regarding the laws knowledge, but in addition to that you should have also have the knowledge of management, how management manages the company, production management, it may be sales management, it may be purchase management, it may be, so process of management, knowledge of management should also be known by the auditor. So these are the qualities which are known as professional qualities. So next comes second is general qualities. So as a person what qualities auditor should have? First one is honest. Okay, it may be anywhere, not only in auditor, not only as a person as an auditor, but if you are working in any field you should be honest. As a person you should be honest, sincere, whatever you are doing it should be true, and you should not be influenced by any person. Then comes integrity. An auditor must be a man of integrity. He should possess high moral courage. If the situation demands, he must be prepared to resign rather than sign a balance sheet which he knows does not exhibit a true and fair. So, integrity means he must be an honest person plus an integrated person. You should have a moral courage. Say, for example, any person is bribing him, he is giving money. So, tell him that just go through the accounts and just go and sign, don't see anything, and just go and sign and give us the report, I will pay you money. If anyone is given, he should not do that. He should have that integrity. Quality of quick grasp and power of judgment. So an auditor should be very quick in grasping means extracting something, extracting some knowledge. So you should be a good listener, you should be patient as a listener, and then you should also have power of judgment. So you should have a knowledge of judging. You should judge very fast. You should not take more time for judging. So quick, he should extract the whatever he has seen, and out of that he should give judgment. Then next comes quality of morality. Quality of morality. Among the moral qualities, courage not in physical sense alone, but moral courage is essential. What is morality? Moral means good values. You should be good. You should be a good person. You should be an honest person. You should be a sincere person. You should not do any immoral work. Okay. Then tactful. Tactful means in the process of auditing, the auditor has to deal with different people such as client, account staff, management. While dealing with them, he should be tactful. He should be firm but still diplomatic with tact. Tactful means he should understand people. The person with whom, with client, if he is speaking, you should study that person. If he is talking with a staff, you should study that person. What type of person is, whether he is sincere. So he should be tactful. He should understand that. Then vigilant. The auditor should be vigilant, courteous, methodical, and accurate in performing his duty and his responsibility at the time of work. So auditor should be vigilant means he should be again methodical, he should be accurate whatever work he is doing. He should be very accurate in his work, in performing his duties and his responsibilities. He should not be a irresponsible person. Vigilant means he should not be a irresponsible person. He should be a responsible person. Whatever work is given to him, as per his responsibility, he should conduct. Then again, same responsibility. The auditor must exhibit a great sense of responsibility in action and behavior. Only for name's sake, the person should not do, or for, say for example, only for money's sake, only for his fees sake, he should not do the work. He should have a proper responsibility and protect the interest of the people, and then he should do the auditing work. Then eighth point is independent and impartial. So as I told her, always whatever decision he is taking, he should take his independent decision. That decision should not be influenced by any one person or money or anything. He should be honest, objective, and independent in his report writing. Then free and open mind. That person who is an auditor, he should always be a free and open mind. He should not adopt an attitude suspicious. He must have free and open mind while performing his duties and responsibility. An auditor is not bound to assume when he comes to do his duty that he is dealing with fraudulent and dishonest. He should not assume on any basis, but as per the whatever account is given, whatever books are given, he should study that, and then only he should see that the person is a good person or a bad person. Then 10th is common sense. An auditor should have a common sense. Common sense every person should have, not only an auditor. Only by possessing technical knowledge in auditing alone will not be. So only having knowledge, only having degree will not help us. Okay, we should have the common sense to understand things, to do the things, to study the things. So common sense is very necessary. Okay, so in this video only let us do this. Only I'll complete with, I'll just wind up with this. Next class I will go with the appointment of the auditor. Okay, thank you students. I hope you all have understood this. Thank you.